Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 for Campaign Alpha. In today's video, I want to go ahead and talk about something I would love to see featured in Total Wars in the future. I think it's a great way to kick off a campaign, get you immersed with your characters, and really get a feeling of what your faction is all about. And what I mean by saying that is we're going to jump in as a campaign. We're going to play as the glorious Castilians in Iberia, who are at this point in time at a crossroads. They are about to partake in an epic battle, and I think these epic battles at the beginning of campaigns are what Total War does need, and I'll let you guys know more about that when we do actually fully load into the game. Okay guys, so we are now in the campaign, and this is what I'm saying. So as soon as you load in as either Castile, Aragon or Navarra or any of the other factions, the Almohad Caliphate, this is what you're faced with. No campaigns, no having to worry about your buildings at the beginning. It's simply just an epic battle. Now this is obviously a historic battle that actually took place on the year that the game's campaign is set up. This is the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa. I think probably butchered that pronunciation, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is this is what you're faced with as soon as you dive into the campaign, and I think that is just such a unique and interesting way of kicking off these battles and these campaigns, and I feel like it would do so good in other Total War games. Obviously this is modded and this isn't the first time something like this has been done. Ancient Empires did a similar thing with the Battle of Zama, and again in that campaign on Ancient Empires you immediately got immersed yourself into the situation. You're like, oh my god, I've got this huge battle to command right away. This is Hannibal versus Scipio. This is where the action is going to go down. And I think it's the exact same right here. You really get a feel of like, oh, this is the defining battle right now for the Iberian, Peninsula. You know, if you lose this battle, then the Sunni Muslim factions will have a lot more control. You'll have to rebuild, and your alliance will be in tatters. Whereas if you win, you really start to push back the enemy factions, and then you can start reconquering the land from the other factions. And I don't know, I feel like it just gives a lot of life to the campaign itself. You really get the sense of like, oh, all the Christian lords have banded together and are ready to fight off this, this army trying to reconquest, this territory and, go on crusade. And I don't know, I just felt like I'd make a video of it. We're going to jump in and fight the battle, and then maybe we'll continue on this campaign. But that was really my whole point, was just like having these really awesome battles right away at the beginning of a campaign. It's just a great way to throw yourself into the battle and the campaign itself. I also think it'd be really beneficial for games like Warhammer to have this. Like, imagine the first time you loaded up Warhammer 1, you jumped in as the Empire, and you go ahead and you immediately get the Battle of Blackfire Pass. So you're straight away in this, epic fight. You really get the feel of Cold Franz. You could start off the battle with cool cutscenes and interesting speeches that are obviously scripted right away. So again, you really get that kind of full immersion of, yeah, this is where the battle is going to stand, and this is my commander, Cold Franz, and this is what he's about. He's just given this really cool speech that has now told me that this is what, a bit of a lore behind the battle, and now you're raring to go. As well as that, I think you could just do it for other factions as well, not necessarily just like battles for Blackfire Pass. I think in general, quest battles would be really, really beneficial to have, one or two at the beginning of the battle, or beginning of a campaign, to really, again, throw yourself into what that character is all about and, what he is wanting to do in his campaign and what his current missions are. And it's kind of a shame that that was never touched on. We have in Warhammer 2 got to the point where we are now starting to get end time battles where, to end the campaign off, you get this big old, explosion. I'd just love to see that at the beginning. Now, I think one of the big downsides to that, and one of the big reports that people would say is like, well, new players, they wouldn't be able to handle these huge battles right away at the beginning of the game. I mean, also, I've got allies in this battle, so it's not really like I've got loads and loads of control. But you could also make it so it's only for a couple factions, in this battle or in this campaign, the 1212 campaign. It is literally just for Castile, Aragon, Navarra, and also the Caliphate, the faction we're going up against. There's only 4 factions out of the massive amounts of factions that are in the 1212 campaign. But again, if you use Warhammer for an example, if you just did it for the Greenskins and the Empire, then, you know, it's only, what, half of a faction. Look, that sounds depressing to say, but there's only 4 factions in Warhammer on release. Ugh, compared to, like, 1212, there's, like, 70. But, you know what I mean? Like, there's only some of the factions, and there are other factions in Warhammer that you wouldn't recommend for new players. So you could really create this sense, I don't know, and maybe you could even have an option just to turn it off, you know, just bypass the battle by a click of a button if you play on a lower difficulty. I just feel like it'd be really, really fun to have something like that, and to, you know, just have these awesome battles at the beginning of the video. But anyway, that's enough of me. That's kind of my idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now let's fight out this battle and see if we can go ahead and reconquer this land to the south and, you know, push our dominance, our Christian dominance against the Sunni Muslims. So we are armoured with a handful of decent units. I will actually take these halberds as well off of their pike formation, their pike wall, just so they're a little bit faster. But yeah, we have some decent infantry. We have obviously these pikes, these halberds. We then have some levy spearmen. Obviously nothing too spectacular, but they'll get the job done for sure. The crossbows are going to be the main meat of our army in this battle. They really, really are. They'll do out so much damage. And obviously our knights. We have Alfonso, our general, our king. He's going to be supported by a couple knights over here. Again, lots of shock cavalry as well, which is going to be so effective. Some Spanish Order knights. We've actually got some Crusaders here. A mix of shields. And again, another, you know, Spanish Order knights. Are these just all our knights we have? Yeah, we have 3 Spanish Order knights, 3 of these knights, and we also have some Portuguese nobles as well who have come to aid us. Again, it's kind of cool to see them represented in this battle. So we will just advance forward on the enemy. We have our allies coming over to help us as well. It seems like they're pushing forward. So we obviously have an army from Navarra back here. They have some crossbowmen. And I also think, again, I'm going to be probably dropping in facts here and there about, you know, about what we were talking about earlier. But I also think it's a great way as well to get a really big feel of your factions right away off the beginning of a bat. You know, like, what are Aragon going to be bringing? What are they good at? What are they good at? What are they bad at? So I think it's a great way of just, like, setting the story for the battle. Also, it seems like my allies are charging forward. Maybe not the best idea, but, you know, we will get it done. Again, so it looks like they're going to be forming up there. Actually, no, it's actually not a bad idea. Aragon do have 2 units of crossbow cavalry, so it's probably for the best that they do that. Then we have the Caliphate over here. I love the Sunni Muslim factions troops. They look really awesome. So, like, all the Caliphates, the Ayyubid Sultan. I mean, look at these dudes right now. They look awesome, man. I love their shields. Really cool infantry. So these guys are pretty decent. And then they've got this classic AI formation back here. The old Death Ball of Blub. Hopefully they'll form up for... Oh my god, so much skirmisher cavalry. They should hopefully form up when we fully come closer to them. I'm sure they will. It's a little bit scary though, because our infantry lines obviously are not going to mix too well. But I'm sure it'll be okay. Again, we'll form up something like here. They have a lot of cavalry as well we'll have to charge into. They actually do have the balance power in their favour, even though we outnumber them by a couple thousand men. And I also think as well, to the fact that, like, new players would be really overwhelmed by something like this at the beginning of the campaign. I also think what you can do is, like, do what they've done in this battle by having 2 AI factions. But you can also just make them small. Make them like a 15 stack v 15 stack. You don't have to have these huge battles. But just having a cool scripted engagement that let the players really get immersed in the environment and the campaign itself, I think would just be so good. So let's go ahead and stick our archers on loose formation. We'll advance them forward. That's a lot of crossbows we have. And we want to start getting these guys to start peppering away at the enemy. Again, I'm sure they'll fix this AI blob in a second. And this is also probably, obviously 1212 is an alpha. This is the whole reason that stuff like this is happening. But again, I think this is just normal Total War AI doing what it's doing right now. So crossbows are forward. We should now be in range of their own archers. No, not quite yet. That's fine. We can move up. And I'm probably going to act as like a support to these missiles as well. I'll let these guys charge forward and then we'll kind of retaliate to that. Okay, we should now be in range. So everyone just focus down 1 unit. Probably something like that is good. And then you guys focus that. So we'll start trying to pick away at their missiles.
Our ally is attacked. Should we aid them?
start harassing their formation a bit, whittling them down. We're going to fall back a little bit, and I guess we'll just advance. Oh my god, the AI, man. Total War AI is something else. We will advance forward. I mean, you know, if we can't beat them, join them. Charge forward, send Fourthful Legion. I mean, it helps as well that the AI is just stupidly sitting there as we pepper away their formations. Again, we're going to need to go ahead and give our infantry another order, as the AI is just bravely charging the front line. That's all I can call it. For the Pope! Smashing into them front lines. There are plenty more spears, though, advancing forward. We've got our cavalry coming around the flank. There you go. Their men are immediately jumping into action. Let's go and try and defend our missiles a little bit by charging forward. We did actually get a little bit stuck on there, but it's fine. We'll charge in, help them out. Coming in. This is a battle for the peninsula right now, and again, we will move in and try and take out this cavalry. It's going to be hard to fight, whereas our infantry as well. Our missiles are okay for now, shooting into this big blob. Our infantry are moving in as well. We'll just try and reinforce as much as we can. Kind of taking up this flank would be perfect. Again, we're going to commit one unit over there. We need to be very careful because their cavalry will be devastating if we leave it alone. Probably going to send out some more dudes out here. Nice, we've got another unit right there we can try and charge in. We'll bring up the king as well. The king will be advanced. Yeah, the AI just has so much cavalry, but it seems like once we engage the cavalry, they're really not much of an issue because they're obviously skirmish cavalry. We do have a pretty nice unit over here, though. Again, we'll charge into that. They have a pretty nice unit of heavy cavalry here. But our heavy knights are going to be more than enough to beat them, I think. Over on this other side as well, we're chasing out some missiles. It's fine. We are bringing over some more spearmen as well. I'd love to get involved in this engagement. Yeah, we've got an infantry engagement going off right now. Throw these dudes in to help that fight out a little bit. The infantry is going quite brutal on the front lines as the Caliphate is putting up one hell of a fight right now. And I also think this would be really fun in the head-to-head campaign as well. Imagine fighting this battle, one of you playing as the Caliphate, one of you playing as a Spanish faction. Like, imagine having this battle right away, because I think a player-controlled army with this would be able to do some serious damage. They really, really would. So let's get our crossbows again just to shoot something else. Bit messy, but it's fine. Nice. Managed to win this flank off quite nicely, so we're probably going to try and wrap around. Spearmen are actually struggling right there against their... Oh, yeah, their sword infantry are cutting me down. Yeah, that's some really elite sword infantry they have here. Heavily armored compared to my spearmen. We don't really stand a chance there. Oh my god, yeah, these guys as well. Where are they? I've got to put my pikes back down. Halberds definitely need to go back down there. Our cavalry is all one now, so now we need to push in and try and kill all these missiles. If we can. Cavalry can come in this way as well. We still have not won this fight right here, which is really bad. Our king can come round as well. We have another unit of spearmen which can invade in that position. Probably try and kill all these dudes. Cavalry is just running amok right now. Oh my god, look at all these missiles here. We need to close in the distance, but we're losing. Nice, we managed to win over here. Perfect. Nice, we killed one of the enemy generals. There's still plenty more to kill, though. We'll try and get through this gap and try and assault the rest of these guys. We just need to get our cavalry in on that front line. It does seem like their front line, though, is just demolishing us right now. We'll throw in more of these spearmen. Yeah, our spearmen just aren't that great. Maybe use our own general here as well. Yeah, we managed to get our cavalry in on their crossbow line, but their front line is dramatically smashing us. Our order infantry right here. Very, very nice stuff. I'll definitely get this cavalry in. Managed to win over here as well. Spearmen back as well. The front line, though, as I said, is just really struggling. They've got some very, very elite infantry here who refuse to give up. We have halberds in here, though, which are going to be doing some decent damage. Again, we need to make sure our crossbows are shooting something in particular, because unfortunately in Attila Total War, there isn't actually a guard mode. I don't know why there isn't a guard mode, but there isn't. Again, we need to make sure that we're moving in. Is our king in yet? No, our king is not in yet, but I want to bring him over here. It looks like their front line is breaking now, thankfully, because I guess their generals are being slain, taking heavy casualties. And there we go, you know, the battle has been won. Somewhat the fate of Iberia has been sealed. There is obviously still a lot more fight back they can do. And again, like, having these battles where you can feasibly lose as well, I think is another really great way of setting the difficulty up. You know, if I was to play on legendary difficulty against a player, this battle would be extremely difficult to win, you know? And I think that would be really, really fun. It'd be exciting because all of a sudden you're now on the back foot. You've just lost your armies and now you're having to repair. So, you know, you could really tell some awesome stories with these big battles at the beginning of campaigns. Let me know what you guys think of it down below in the comments. Also, let me know if you want me to continue on this campaign as well. If I was to do it, I'd probably restart it. And obviously, I think I'm on a hard difficulty for this. And we're just playing on hard, so if we were, we would jump in. But, you know, there you go. The decisive victory battle has been won. And now, you know, this alliance between me, Aragon, and the other faction, Navarra, I almost forgot there for a second, has now been, you know, connected, and I'm much more excited, you know, to dive in, and it's kind of got that feel of like, oh, it's our job to reconquer Spain and build up that power block, and, you know, I think that really gets it across in that battle. You know, we've managed to win this battle, but now, you know, so, like, I started off with these allies, but now, you know, my army is going to kind of do its own thing almost. You know, I can march onto the capitals, I could take out their armies. There's a lot more other stuff I can do, and also these other factions like Aragon and Navarra are going to be doing their own thing as well. So why can't we auto-resolve that? I mean, either way, we're just going to stop it here, stop the campaign here, but hopefully that gives you kind of a good idea of what the point I was trying to get across. I didn't want to just script this video. I wanted to kind of be a bit more free fall, because I feel like that's where I get my best ideas from, and my best discussion points. So let me know what you guys think of the idea of having like a major battle at the beginning of a campaign. And as I said, my main points were like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the focal point of every single campaign, not every single faction has to have it, but actually have a big battle for some of the factions at the beginning of the game could be really, really enjoyable. And as I said, you could just, you know, maybe that if they really wanted to make it more noob friendly with them factions, you could just click a button and have that turned off, you know, just like a quest battle or something at the beginning of each Warhammer battle would be really enjoyable. I don't know, but yeah, cool. Let me know what you guys think of the idea in the comments down below. Be sure to go check out my France campaign that I'm doing on the 12.12 alpha right now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.